Hello and welcome to Jared 997's channel. Today I'm starting a new video series on audio mixing and how to use audio boards of various shapes, sizes, small, large. If you've ever wanted to know, how do these magic things work? How do you mix audio? What does this knob do? What is that? This is going to be the series for you. So we're going to cover everything from the basics right up to the ins and outs of all the features and whatnot. So this is going to be the introduction to a multi-part series where we'll get into all sorts of neat, funky aspects of soundboards. So let's have a look here. This is our introduction to the series. What's this all about? This is this video here. I'm gonna go over an overview of what it will be and will not be covered. So the goal of this whole series, you can use a soundboard. That's what we're aiming for. And you can understand how it works. So you look at a knob and realize, oh, that's what this thing does. If I tweak this a little bit this way, that's fixed my problem. Now it sounds better. What we're not going to cover here, anything brand specific, Yamaha, Behringer, whatever, what's this, quirky thing on this board? No, I'm not getting into anything brand specific. Because if you're concerned about that, then you really don't need the series. You're probably, used to using boards. If you're getting into some really neat, quirky feature that one brand has or something doesn't. I'm not going to cover. Can you help me with this problem? Because that's probably again going to be something brand specific. Oh, hey, can you tell me why my board isn't doing this, or this isn't that? Um, this series isn't really intended to help you fix specific problems or fix quirky things, but by going through this whole series, it will give you an understanding on how everything works together, and you'll be able to fix your own problem. Now, if there are questions about my presentation or the content I'm covering, yeah, sure, leave it in the comments, and then we'll see about either doing a Q&A presentation, or if it's something simple, we'll answer it in the comments. And ear training. So I'm not, kind of hard to do over a video. This is what this is supposed to sound like, or whatever. Now that being said, when you're mixing audio, you should have an idea of the sound that you want to get out of it anyway. So ear training is sort of and again, it's sort of a subjective thing. What I'm going to hear maybe is not going to be the same thing you're going to hear, or is the same sort of sound that you're intending to get. So it's a bit of a mixed bag. We will go over some content about what you hear in mixing. So that's why I got the asterisks on that. Who am I in general? Jared. Call me Jared. Jared997 is my online name. I'm a software engineer, so I have an engineering degree in software. Aerospace manufacturing, engineering technologist. It's a big fancy title that says I know how to put together airplane parts and make airplane parts. I'm a singer. I've been singing for, 30 years. Instrumentalist. I've been playing various instruments, primarily violin, again for 30 plus years. Composer. I've written some music. I've entered some competitions. I wouldn't consider myself a prolific or published composer, but I've done some unique things. Actor. Yep, I'm going to be in a community production coming up this May, so I'm excited about that. And I did some a little bit of acting back in high school, which was also fun. It's kind of the reason I'm getting back into it. Sound lighting technician. Again, been doing it since high school. I love it. I've been around sound and lighting equipment for most of my life, so that's why I feel a little qualified to be doing this presentation. And I'm aiming it to be simple, so anyone can be able to pick up on this right from the beginning, and then by the time we're done, you'll be able to use something like this, right? You plug in your inputs, You do a simple mix, you've got an output, there you go. By the time we're done, you should be able to use something like this. A 12 channel board. Does it look a little bit more complicated? Yes. But look at all the vertical stripes on this. You've got 12 channels and they're all the same. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 controls, and it's the same 8 controls on each channel. Again, it's not too complicated once you think about it. Once we're done, you could use something like this, Behringer X32. It's a wonderful board. I've been using this weekly for the past number of years. But again, it looks complicated, but once you understand it, it is really not that bad. Then once we're done, you could even, again, use something like this. Again, it looks more complicated, but the more you know about it, the more it's not that scary. Again, each channel there is more or less the same sort of idea. You just have 72 of them across the board. Studio board, okay, you can do a few more, funky things with it, mixing submasters and configuring your outputs and effects and whatever. But once we get into it, you'll realize it's not that bad, it's not that scary, and you can get through it. So the outline, we're going to start with the basics, like basics, so you have a firm understanding of what we're getting into. So if I start using terms, you're going to know what I'm talking about. The physics of sound, you kind of have to know how sound works to have a basics of mixing. You might think, oh, this is going to be really boring, I'm going to skip that one. Okay, if it's going to be really boring, watch it and just pay half attention to it, because I bet you that part that you actually pay attention to is going to be the part that, oh, hey, maybe I didn't realize that. Basic electronics. So I'm not going to give you a whole electronics course, a college course or whatever in electronics, but I'm going to teach you some basics on how electronic thingies work and function. And that's going to give you the basis of understanding how all these electronics boards work. And I'm going to try and do it a way that even if you're not a techie person, even if you've never, held a resistor in your hand before, you'll get an understanding of what things are, how they work. And again, nothing super complex, but basics. We're going to build up from there. So we're going to add new ideas and components each video after that. We want to keep grounded through this whole series. The first thing we should always keep in mind is, what's the basic idea of your setup? What are you trying to accomplish? If we got a 4-channel mixer, what are you trying to do? You're trying to mix sound. You're trying to blend in, let's say, a guitar, a keyboard, vocalist together, and have a balance of those 3 sounds, so when they come out your speakers, people can hear singing and playing, and one isn't overpowering the other. Okay, the basic idea of any sound setup is mixing the sound to get the right kind of balanced output that sounds nice. Always keep that in mind. Don't get distracted by, oh, hey, we got this effect and that effect, and I can do this and that. Right, there are lots of features you can use, but go back. What's the basic idea of your setup? You're trying to mix the sound to be heard, whether it's for a recording, whether it's live, whatever. And then here's another thing that I see people kind of get confused about. Solve the problem first and then mix, okay? If there's a problem with your setup, let's say you've got a hum somewhere, find out where the hum is and fix it. If it's a bad chord, replace the chord. If you got a bad ground, you're gonna want to fix the ground. Sometimes that can be solved by just changing where you've got things plugged in. Whether it's a loose connection, again, which can be solved by the easiest way, swap out your cord. So solve the problem first and then mix. It sounds easy enough, but sometimes, I see people, trying to mix, and they're like, oh, hey, let's do this and this. And before you know it, it's like, there's a guy playing guitar on the stage here, but I'm not hearing any guitar. So yeah, try and keep these 3 things in mind. Your idea is you're mixing for your setup. Don't get distracted by all the fancy stuff you may have on your soundboard. And ideally, if you can, during practices, this is what practices are for, solve your problem first and then get back to your mixing. So there's what we're going through. Leave comments down below. We'll see see what you have to say. There's going to be a lot of content over this, but I'm aiming for short, 10 minutes, 15-minute individual sessions. So it's not huge, it's not overwhelming, and we just cover simple ideas in each video. So that's it. That's me. This is our outline. I'm going to aim for about one video a week right now, and we'll go from there. That's it for today. My name's Jared, and we'll see you on the next video.